got the Louisiana Derby coming your way in just seconds from now. With the call, here's John G. Dooley.
They're off for the TwinSpires.com Louisiana Derby. And here's Lemnisket going right out toward the lead. By My Standard showing good speed at Swingo is right there too. Mr. Money settles between horses. And Spinoff strides up on the outside. As long odds, Lemnisket leads them at the first turn here for Brian Hernandez Jr. It's Lemnisket who leads Swingo by 2.5 lengths. Spinoff is just in third from By My Standards with Mr. Money running in fourth. In behind horses is War of Will for Tyler Gaffalione, drafting in behind horses. War of Will as these leaders go to the back of the track. Then comes Royland. Hogbery Castle is next, followed by Country House, who's posted 3 wide as they go up the back of the track here with 5 furlongs to go. The trailers are Lemonite, and dropping back to last is Bankit in 11th. As they head toward the half-mile pole here in the Louisiana Derby, where it's Lemnisket who just leads Swingo in the pink cap, who's been right there with the front runner. Lemnisket with a half-mile to go. Then Spinoff, By My Standards, puts the game closer toward the rail. War of Will still in behind horses. Just held up is the favorite, War of Will, and joined out wide by Mr. Money. Royland is next, followed by Country House with 3 furlongs to go. Hogbery Castle driven between horses. The trailers remaining Lemonite along with Bankit as they close ranks. Coming to the top of this fairground stretch, it's Swingo, Lemnisket, By My Standards. On the outside is Country House looking to gain ground as they come for home with under a quarter mile to go. War of Will's in traffic and still well back and still a lot to do for War of Will with a furlong to go. And it's Spinoff who's taking a short lead from a battling By My Standards. Swingo, then Country House. It's Spinoff and By My Standards for Gabriel Saez. It's By My Standards and Spinoff. By My Standards at 22-1 to win the Louisiana Derby. Spinoff was second, Swingo third, Country House fourth, then Mr. Money, Royland. Next was Bankit, followed home by War of Will, Hogbery Castle, Lemnisket, and Lemonite.
It is a day of upsets in New Orleans. By My Standards, ridden by Gabriel Saez, trained by Bret Calhoun, going to the Kentucky Derby, wins today.
We were talking to Bret Calhoun earlier today or yesterday, and he said this horse, after he broke his maiden, he came back and he worked so well, the lights came on. He said, I don't know if he's good enough, but he's certainly improved since his last race. Good trip, mid-pack early, made a bit of a run. The question mark was, what was War of Will doing so far back?
I mean, we heard Mark Cassidy say it would be nice maybe if you got a little dirt in his face, if you got, behind horses a little. And we talked about the possibility maybe they would try to teach him something in this race since he already had enough points. If that's what happened, if they were trying to teach him something, he didn't take his lesson very well. He did take dirt. He was in a crowd. But he emptied out at the top of the stretch. And a lot of times you see horses that were turf horses earlier in their career. When they get dirt in their face for the very first time, they don't react well to it. He might not have.
Spinoff had a great stalking trip. Swingo stalked, he laid second. No excuse. Spinoff made a good run, made the lead, looked like he could win. This race will certainly help him. But the big puzzling question is, what happened to War of Will?
You don't think that's ultimately good, to learn a little bit? The horse is in a different environment that may prepare him for the Kentucky Derby.
Ideally, you'd like to be in the second flight, just tucked in behind the first 2 or 3 horses, so that if he doesn't handle it well, you can tip him back outside and make an outside run. He was 6th or 7th early boxed in the middle of horses.
We showed you Spinoff a second ago. We had mentioned earlier that if Todd Pletcher had said if he didn't have enough points to get in the Kentucky Derby after today, they may think about Arkansas or the Lake. He now does by finishing second. He gets those 40 points. So mark Spinoff as a horse that's headed in his very next start to Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, along with, against all odds, By My Standards.
Top 2 horses going By My Standards, pulling off the upset over the heavy favorite War of Will. Wow. We're going to hear from the winners. We're going to take a look at next weekend's Florida Derby as well. It is By My Standards winning in New Orleans.